Hello, hello. This is Kimberly, and you've come to Journal Breeze. Thank you so much for stopping by, for checking it out. Today is a very casual video for you. It should be pretty short. Let me set my alarm here. Okay, and that's because my thumb has decided to have a mind of its own, and I can't cut or move it in certain directions that would hold the paper together, those kinds of things. So I got this stupid, ugly brace and just bought it from Amazon, and it's definitely improving with the lack of use. So I can't complain. I'm lucky. It was simple. But I've been putting off making this video thinking, I could push through it, and it just wasn't getting any better. So what I have done, I did prior to this thumb, and so I'm going to use it to show you what I would have done a little bit more on and just spur your thinking. So to me, this is an inspiration video, and maybe you'll see parts of Nicola's kits from the Paper Cameo that you haven't seen before, or you've seen them in the store, but now you're going to see them on video. And so hopefully it'll be useful to you in that way. So that's what this is. It's a design team project video for the Paper Cameo. So this is a new kit called Ballerina. And the first thing that might inspire you is actually the color that this is. If I had done this on white paper, I would have gotten this color, which I'm sure a lot of you love. But I'm not a pink person, so doing it on this other colored paper, I got what I considered to be more of a red, or a red flame, and I really like that a lot better if I had to choose between the two. So I put it on this color paper. There's a packet that you can get at Michael's that has browns and beiges and goes all the way to their type of white, which is not pure white. And so it was this that I used, and I think it looks, who knew, right? It's so different. This is almost olivey in a way, sort of olive green, and then this is more of the like fire red. This is a gray, and this is a pink, sort of a gray to pink. So it would depend what you're going to do with it, or who you might give it to, or if it was for yourself, which one you preferred. But they both I think are lovely, and I'm happy to work with this one. This is kind of a little bit of a yellow white. It's not a white. This is a white. So a little bit of a yellow white. This is 32-pound presentation paper or not. I'm not really sure, but in any case, it's not a white. And then on the other side, I used one of her two font papers. There's one that has more blue tones, and then this one had the pink tones. And again, it comes out in more of that red colorway, which I just think is beautiful. And I love this. This came out a beautiful shade of red, and I think even when the font was looking more pink, this still had a red colorway to it. So all in all, I love this. So next, I decided that what I wanted to do was use the papers that did not contain the ballerinas. And there weren't very many that sort of fulfilled that were one page. So I have added pages from her older kits, and I've always wanted to do this. So it was an opportunity. It was just begging to be done. And that was that I was using her laces from various older kits. I love her lace pages. They're so beautiful. And so I wanted to use them in the kit. So this is from the Ballerina kit. Beautiful page. And for reasons I'll show you in a minute, I did the same print on both sides. I love this print. And I think, I'm going to cover it up because when it's folded like this, I have something that's going to go over here and you can't even tell what it is. But this is the same design as the cover. But because this is printed on white, 32-pound white paper, presentation paper, you can see it's got the pink. And then the next page is this. What I should do is fold these up and show them to you that way. Okay. Hope you're doing well. Hope things are going well for your summer, too. It's hard to believe it's summer. A lot of people are off, not me. So I forget that it's summer, but hope you're enjoying it, particularly if you're on vacation. So here we go. So this is the first inside page. And then we get to this, which I just think is really beautiful. And then this. It reminds me of the 50s to have black and pink. Remember how that was such a big colorway back then? And every one of these pages I love. I didn't just pick Relace pages. I picked the pages and the colors that I love them in. And then there's this. I love how this like ends and you can see the background. And it has like the top fringe flip. And then this is different. This is a different stripe than this. And then this. This wonderful middle part will be in the spine, which is too bad, but. And then we have this. This coloring is still pink in comparison, but similar. And then we have the middle. And then we would go back, and it would be the same. Okay, so now you know what my pages are like. So here's what I was thinking. For this page, I printed out two pages from the kit to cut these out of. And I honestly can't decide. Okay, I'm going to bend it again so that you can see the size difference. So one of the pages has this in it. It's actually on the left side. So I like the coloring on this because this and this are the same color. And I do like the size of it also. I think it's very, very pretty because I like the font. I like the design. I like that it says Paris. And she's talking about reflections of her experiences. And it's in the art of ballet, which doesn't really matter to me either way, but I love that it says experiences and reflections, new reflections and experiences concerning the art of ballet dance. I think that is a great first page. The other option is this smaller white. Look at how much it changes the overall look. I think it's amazing. I think it makes all of this look more beige. And this looks more peach. But it brings out the white and it kind of brings out the dimensionality of it. And I like it. So let me show you again, and then I hope you'll tell me in the comments what you think. This is a larger one. It picks up more pinks. This becomes more of a creamy, beigey pink color. It's very similar. This all blends together. The whites don't show up so much. And it's larger. Or this one. Just makes it look brighter, a lot brighter. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling this one myself. Last time I looked at it, I was feeling the white one. but I think this is probably the one I'm going to go with. But tell me what you think. I think that would be fun, really fun. All right, so what are we going to do when we're inside? So here are the thoughts I'm having. I don't necessarily want to fold this in half this way, but it's going to be kind of hard to play with it if I don't. So I guess I will. Okay. I didn't want even pages anyway, so no problem. When I cut it, I did a mass cutting on a guillotine cutter, and I can see some of the white got left on there. And I also don't know that that's a problem, particularly if I were to go with the white one. Let's see. Let's just see. This would be the first page. I've got an idea for this, though. Yeah, I was going to cut them off or distress them, but if I had this white, maybe that would just make it more interesting. There's no white on the outside, per se. Okay, so what I wanted to do on the inside front, this is from her kit, Journal Bling. And it looks just like velvet. It really, really is a great rendition of velvet. And it is cut like this, or very similar to it. I might have cut it slightly different, but it's this weird shape, and it's like a bunched up piece of velvet, and I just couldn't love it more. And I thought it would be great to put it right here. And then put something, obviously, inside of there. What exactly, I don't know at the moment. But let's see. Yeah, I think it looks better with that. So I might cut off this white or distress it. Well, I've got my distress ink. Let's see if we try that. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I've never done such a mass cutting with the guillotine before, and I thought it worked great until I started to distress the edges. Yeah, that'll be easy to fix. Yeah, I think I'll just distress everything so that the white's not there. So that brings me back to this again. I think that's going to be the way I go. Now, if I were to put this here, this then could only go on here if I had it in this direction. And I don't think this pink goes well with that, but I think it goes really well with that. It's basically the same color as the ink. All right, so then we move inside, and here, basically, these are all plain pages. And my thinking is, how fun to cut up one of these butterflies. These are my two favorite out of these four. And just to let you know, just to kind of demonstrate, if you can tell on your monitor, this is on I think this is on 28-pound paper, and this is on I think it's at like a 85 or 110 weight, cardstock. You can see how much crisper it looks on there than on here, or at least I think. And so I might cut these out and then glue them on here so I can have the crisper, but I might not too. As I look at this, I'm wondering, did I do one fit the frame and one not? Does this look a little bit tinier than that? No, that looks the same. Okay, so I thought it would be fun to put this on the page, cut it out fussy cut style, and leave the entire center open, gluing it only on the sides and on the bottom, and then let this be a pocket. Now, maybe it wouldn't be best on this page because there's a lot of beauty going on here, but on one of these simpler pages, it could work possibly on that, or it could work on this. Let's see. I haven't tried any of this yet. I've just had it in my mind. Yeah, it kind of does a lot for these two pages, doesn't it? Yeah, I think this on one of these pages would be great. I like that. And this one having this beige coloring, let's see. I wish I could just cut it a little bit. It's hard to tell with all that other showing, isn't it? There we go. Yeah, I think I'll just use this one on that page that I suggested. But I am going to use the cardboard since it'll be a pocket. All right, and then this is another Journal Bling page, which I haven't used yet. I'm trying to use all of them. And this is a stunning set of jeweled frames or booklet covers. Really just beautiful. It's an amethyst one that I forgot about, or I would have found a way to use it in my purple and green journal, which I did a flip through of a few days ago, so you can see it. These are just very three-dimensional and very beautiful. And so I want to use some of the bigger ones like this or that and put them where they would look the best. I feel like I don't want to cover up this or that. Oh, I just love this one so much. So something that just fits in the middle could be the whole decoration. Or it could fit in the middle and then be a tuck. If I wanted to cover up a corner, which I don't, then it could be a tuck in the bottom corner. But I don't. The whole reason I wanted to do a lace book is because I really like the laces. And I might put a real piece of lace over a lace page. I don't know. Oh, I forgot to show you something about the cover. All right. I'm getting ahead of myself here. Let me show you what I was going to do more with the cover before I forget, before my timer goes off. All right. I have distressed this, and I wanted you to see that these two are distressed, and the bookmarks aren't. I mean, the corners. So these were white like this. And I put on a very light dusting. I'm going to put this on here, and I'm going to put it down rather low because I think that looks good. I like how this arches up and just changes the shape of the whole thing. And then it comes out to either side, and the bottom is covered up completely. Not that I don't like the bottom. I do. It could be done like this as well, where the bottom shows more and there's a little bit showing on the top. But I rather like this. And then I'm going to put this keyhole over here. And then the corners. I must have another corner floating around. I took a double corner and cut it in half rather than bend it over. I didn't think that was necessary. But I got to it by just simply cutting it in half and using it individually. And then the light dusting of distressing, I used gathered twigs, was just made it a little bit more of this colorway. You know, since it's gone red, it's very warm. And that gray pink on the white version is very cold. So the white goes with that just fine. But you can see that that looks better than that. So it's something to think about if you decide to use some of these Journal Bling pieces. And normally I may not always use like so many, but I love this Journal Bling kit. And I like finding ways to use it. I think it's a blast. It reminds me of paper dolls. And I just want to use it. I just want to use it however I can. Still edit, not be over the top. That's not me. But, you know, I don't think that's too much having that row. And I might put them on the back too. We'll see. But this is what it looks otherwise. Okay? All right, so back to our pages. So we don't really know which page is going to go on because I want to cut them out. It's too hard to tell when there's so much going on. But this is another design that I want to use on here. And so is this. It's very clunky working with this. I'm so sorry. And so is this. So for the pages that are in here, and I'm probably going to just put some plain coffee dyed in between. And I also picked out some other pages that look really good with these colors. You remember this from a recent kit of hers? I have a copy of a French document that's out of my own collection. I've got a few others I'll show you that you might consider when you draw from some of her older kits. I even thought about doing this on the back page. So I would have the velvet corner pockets on each cover on the inside. And I like them a lot. I like how she has it squished down like this. So these are just beautiful pieces. And since I'm liking the velvet, I think it's only right that I use this. So I think that this is a chunky lace. I think this could be cut and become a tuck at the top of the page. Cut it out exactly right so that the tag that you might push up inside of there will show through where the ribbon would be. And I like that idea. I like that idea a lot. And the same thing could happen with this one. But I feel like this one is more of a bottom pocket on another page, of course. And cut out, and again, that can show through. And I like that as well. Maybe even lend itself to having a lace pocket across the bottom, and then these cut out will show the lace and then what's behind it. I think this looks pretty here. Let's see where this might look good. Ah, looks good there. I think that looks nice because these jewels are the same color pink as this, and this velvet is the same color pink as that. So if I do use this on this page, which I'm pretty sure I will, then I may not want to have this one so close to it. So where else could this one go? So we're going to the butterfly on here. No. Huh, this might work in the middle of the page. Okay, a couple more minutes. This could work here because it would be covering up the netting. I like that. Let's look at it over here because I don't much care for that. I don't think it really adds anything either way. No. Okay. All right. So in the remaining minutes, let me show you the other pages from former kits that you might consider putting in it. And of course, there's this as well that has some of these, probably enamel or fabric charms that could be glued on the page or glued as a tab on this same brown paper. And so it changes them, and they look much more antique this way, and that's preferable to me. Okay, so let me just grab these. This is another page in the Ballerina kit that's so fabulous. Oh my gosh, I can see using this a lot of places a lot of the time. I did it though on a linen cardstock, And so I'm thinking it as maybe a pocket, because I will put pockets on the pages, or tuck, or corner pocket. You know, maybe that's what I had in mind for this inside page, was a corner pocket with this. That could be. I did these all like a week and several days ago, and then all this happened, and life got in the way, so I've kind of forgotten a little bit of my plan. But I do love this and can't wait to use it in here somewhere. And of course, these can be used in various ways in this, and these are more of the same, but on the white paper. This is from an old corner that from another kit. And I didn't know if it was too peachy pink, but if I were to cover up that rose, so that the direct red wasn't going to be there, then this might be a possibility, depending on what I put in here. I love this a lot. It might also go on the light pink background. It's very summery looking and pretty. So that's one. This is a paper. I have the scrap, but it came out of a more recent kit, a French kit that I made a folio for. Printed the cover on fabric, and I love this. I think this is fabulous. So this could be a cool pocket. This is also an old kit that I think lends itself to, corner pockets. Let's see how it looks on the light pink. That is good. Too much flowers. So maybe on one of the plain papers that I put in, that would work better. Okay, so I picked this one because it looks like vintage paper, shades of brown, and I think this would be could be a side tuck, could be the paper, folding it in half and using it, but I don't have anything really with fonts and this kind of design in there, so it's possible. And same thing with this, but a lighter version. This is from one of our very old kits. This one would bring in this flower, and I like, that it's a collage of different things, including the music paper. So I think this could be very pretty. No, I wouldn't put it on the same page. Okay. And this, I'm not sure this is hers. So, I put it on the back of one of her pockets. So it might be, but I thought I could cut it up and use it as pockets. These are tags from the same kit as this. And this book is not very tall. I printed it 8 by 10 and then took off the margins. So, or, did not fit the page. So this would be almost as tall or taller than the whole thing. Not sure I like that idea, but they could be made smaller. I had these already printed. I love this collage. I always have. I don't think it really works as the collage page, but I love these, which she does put in I think, the journal Bling separately. This, I tried it out. I felt like it was a little too white and probably wouldn't work. But it's possible maybe the tag could be made, or a journaling card could be made out of these more floral areas, or an upper tuck. This is the same as that pocket, and I think this could be one of the pages in it, and I'd have to back it with something. But I think the more off-white coloring works well with this journal. And here are more of the bling that isn't printed on the brown. So they're whiter. They still look antique. I was thinking this side of the paper, maybe gluing it. It's got some of that lace I love, and it's got the flowers. Glue it on half of a coffee dyed paper. I wouldn't use her per se. I'm not using people in this, but I do love this paper. There's a smaller version of the hand that I like, and more of this. These might work somewhere. I like this picture a lot. Autumn Rose, that's the name of the kit it's from. So I think that would be a cool journal card or pocket tuck. This is an old envelope that I made. I think it's, yeah, so it would hold things. And this is one of her hearts. I just feel like maybe it could be reconfigured a bit and maybe turn this back and turn it into a side tuck. I don't know. Pulled it out. It was right there. This would have to be glued down, but it has a similar red as to the cover. So I think it would work well inside this journal. Not this side, but this side. And I really love it a lot. Trouble is it's a little big. So I'm not quite sure how that would work out exactly. I'd have to think about that. This actually looks really good with these. They have the same, I think, similar feel, medieval. These all have a medieval feel to them. And so does this, to me. This is another one of her old envelopes, and I tucked in the top and glued it down, so it is only a pocket, and probably it's too big too, unfortunately. So again, I don't know if I could actually use it as it is. Another page that has the flowers on it and font. Again, I would glue it to a page. And here's more of that lace I love, but this is cardboard. And this is also done on, not cardboard, but cardstock. I love this. I think this has the potential to work. Maybe as I could use a connector, and this could be in there, but it's probably too big. Looks like I used the whole page. I have to cut it down. And this is also on cardstock. That's not at the same size. Again, more of these. These are more tags from that large. They're very large. Another envelope that I had made at one point. And again, I'm just thinking if there's some way I could make that work, I would. This I thought was kind of that fiery red. Well, we already know we're going to cover this with that yellowy, but on the page inside, I was thinking this might work. It's very similar. And if I glued it down, it could be a pad of paper. This is from her needlework, one of her needlework kits. I'd put lace across there. I think that's very pretty. If I were to put it on this side, it would cover up a lot of that lace, but it does go well with that. That's beautiful. That might work out. That's very pretty. And this is another one that I thought might be fun because it has these little, diamond look kind of things and flowers again. Again, I think the coloring, it's quite a bit pinker, so I'm not so sure about that. I love this toile, so it would just, be something I cut up. And I also like this, and something perhaps could happen with one of these. This is another page that had neutrality, and these postcards I thought would also be nice in it. So hopefully that gives you some ideas on what you might want to do. You might be wanting to go with the ballerinas intermixed, and I think that's cool too. I just don't happen to want to, but here's one of them. They're in this yellow color or pink or blue. Mostly, yeah, I'd say mostly this and pinks. All right, So I'm hoping that this was inspiring for you. I think there's a lot to play with here, and you know, pretty much any papers you pick, there's going to be beauty to it. So it's just kind of fun to mix and match things that may have sparked you in the past that you haven't used as much, and that's why I'm doing it like this. But I do want to intersperse other pages in here, and I will be doing that. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I don't think you'll have any questions, but maybe you'll have suggestions. But as you know, I do answer anything that is put in the comments, and I'm always excited to see what your thoughts are. So take care, everybody. Have a really good weekend ahead, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.